Nothing is going to hurt you. I'll protect you. I'll be your superhero. Use a bedsheet as a cape, with my legs apart and my hands on my hips and my back straight, and I'll watch the door and the windows and the cupboard and the space under your bed and the floor and the ceiling and the silence and the creaking, and nothing is going to hurt you. I promise. Even though when you were maybe 4 years old and Mama and Papa weren't home, you asked me to read you a bedtime story. But I was messaging some senior on Facebook, and the opportunity was too exciting for me to put on hold. So I told you I'd be there in 10 minutes. Go to the room, pick out the story you want me to read to you. Then, in an hour, I bit my lip as I realized what time it is, and I rushed to the room to find you asleep, without the blanket and with the light still on. Your small arms clutched around the storybook that you knew in your heart of hearts I would read to you because I promised you that I would. And I never apologized, and you forgave me before you woke up. When Mama dropped me to my friend's house in the car, you came along. And you were just so happy to be spending time with me, you and your big sister, alone at last. No school, no nothing. Until the car stopped and only I got out. And I panicked as you struggled to follow because I didn't want to spend my Saturday babysitting. No, I said hurriedly as I pushed you gently back in. I'll be back in a few hours, I promise. Mama waved and drove off, and I watched you turn around and crane your neck to look at me with the purest emotion of missing someone in your eyes. Just before you broke into the shiniest smile, because already you were excited to see me at home later, and you knew that I'd be back soon because I promised you that I would be. Even though I called in the evening and asked if I could spend the night, the next day you didn't even wait for an apology. You grabbed my hand and showed me your newest dinosaur drawing. And I looked at it half-heartedly. When Mama and Papa scolded me, you held my hand and stood with me in solidarity, mouth open and eyes wide with shock as you wondered what fault those two could possibly find in me. I was a superhero, yet there I was, being scolded and not being able to say anything. When they left, I pushed you and told you that it was all your fault, because I could, because you were smaller than me. And you took it all so silently, and I'm terrified that you believed me. You've seen the worst of me, but you always saw the best in me. When things were bad in school and at home for me, I always took it out on you. I never yelled at anyone, but I had to remind myself to use even tones with you too. Still, when we went to watch Inside Out and we were discussing what emotion represents what family member best, you immediately told me that I was joy. When I had my first relationship, Mama and Papa never heard the fights. But you were always just a thin wall away, listening to me yell and sob, and you hated my first boyfriend. As you should, he was a dick. And you were always more mature than you should have been, and once in a while you'd ask me casually, "Hey, is everything okay?" And I'd nod with snot and blotchy eyes. "I'm fine, I promise." And I think slowly, very slowly, you stopped believing me. Did you? Is that why, when I was giving you advice on how to study, you cut me off halfway and told me not to bother? Why you seldom listen and always argue only with me? Why you always seem so angry to see me? Am I the reason you're a cynic at 13? Did you realize that when the older boys bullied you in school to try and get to me, I wasn't the one who managed to save you? Did you realize that the cape was just an old bedsheet, did you? I have recurring dreams of you being about 3 and being pulled and pushed by the sea, and me trying desperately to hold on to you and keep you safe. In my sleep, I tried to be who I convinced you I was. Mama says that she and her brother used to be best friends until he went to boarding school, and now they don't even talk that much. And they were twins. You and I are already 6 years apart. And when I go to university in a few months across a few seas, that distance is only going to grow. And I'm scared that you'll be happy to see me go. Will you breathe easier? Look, I know I've hurt you, and I'm sorry, even though I never told you. And I find it easier to tell 100 people, 100 strangers, how much I love you, even though I don't remember the last time I said it to you. And it's messed up, I know, that when you grow up, your candlelight heart will be bent out of shape because of me. I'm not the superhero I promised you I would be. The good witch who'd cast spells and make you laugh and keep you happy. My superpowers failed me. I tripped on my own cape and didn't realize that the monsters I was trying to protect you from were coming out of my own skin and teeth. What kind of stupid superhero falls asleep like that when on duty? But if you're willing to give me another chance, do you think you have it in you? For purely selfish reasons. Look, I'm tired of dreaming about losing you at sea. And hey, you're older. You're taller than me now. We could share the bed sheet maybe. Snuggle up under it and sit by the window and watch the city in the night time. Maybe you could fight those monsters with me. Hey, turns out you're the one with the superpowers. You're the one that's going to save me. Thank you.
To like, subscribe and follow us, just press some of these buttons. I don't know why people keep pointing. You are educated and you can read. So just read it and do the needful. Please, we're a startup, we need your love.